Play. All right, beauties and rock stars. You remember we had Paul on the podcast before. Okay. You might know Paul. He was the videographer for the Dudesons. He's doing the camera stuff for Steve-O. But what he's really doing now is his music career. The guy's a flat, like an Eminem up and coming. Beauties and rock stars who's gonna make a song for the podcast. So we thought we would get him on so you guys can send him DMs. He loves the DMs, especially hot Canadian birds. He needs them, okay? He's going to come to Toronto to perform this song live. We'll fly him out. We'll go to a Leafs game. We'll make it, man. Welcome to the podcast, Paul.
Dude, thanks for having me, bro. Good to see you.
Love to see you. Glad we're interacting again. I took that year off break, came back, and you're like one of the first people I messaged when I was saying, yo, what's up, homie?
Dude, psyched. I was happy to hear from you.
Yeah. So your music career, last time you were on the pod, you guys were just starting out. Let's just dive right into it. And guys, some of you might not know Paul. If you grew up watching MTV, if you grew up just like the 87s, like my age, like you lived the Dudesons, Bam Margera, Steve-O. Paul knows these guys and like he lived with them. So Paul, why don't you tell the listeners who you are? Because my favorite movie, my idol, my absolute hero in life, Forrest Gump. Well, now we're not strangers. He that's what his famous saying is that, and life is like box chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get. My idol, man. So why don't you introduce yourself, big guy?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm Paul. I started editing. I mean, I'm a music guy, but I fell into editing just kind of randomly. Like I taught myself how to edit videos so I could make my own music videos. And then I just kind of as side gigs fell into editing YouTube videos. So first I worked for the Dudesons. That was like 2.5 years. And that was awesome. I'm still close with those guys. I love those guys. Shout out to the Dudesons. And then through them, I met Steve-O and just kind of by luck ended up editing for him. And I'm at his house right now, sitting in the bed in his guest room. And yeah, with him, I've been editing his YouTube videos. We launched a podcast together. I've been touring with him. I open for him. I do stand up now too. I open for him on tour. So we're
Paul,
doing tour.
Paul, you actually
Yeah,
do have to plan a roadie to Toronto because we have connections for the stand-up room. We'll definitely get you in for stand-up. I'll even
sick,
go
dude.
stand up that night.
I love it. I'd love to come out there and do a music concert and then do some stand up too. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
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 it's been
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
fun.
We'll get a sponsor to buy your plane ticket so you don't have to worry about getting it out of your pocket.
I love it, dude. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, man. And so yeah, I'm just I don't know on this train and just riding it.
BioSteel, official sponsor of Between the Benches with Throughout Sauce. I've been after these guys for like 4 years, and finally they're on board. Full-time sponsor, BioSteel, the best hydration drink for athletes, for musicians, for everybody. We'll get you sent some. So Paul,
Sick, dude.
let's just dive right into it. I got a couple of questions. What
Hit
was
me.
it like living with the Dudesons? Because you're never safe. Like, give us something that just like you're sleeping or you guys got really high and came up with an idea and then you just went and filmed it and the cops came. Like, give us a crazy Dudson story.
Well, okay, so that was like we had this office that was a house in Hollywood. And so we'd go there every day. I would often sleep there just because we were up so late editing. I mean, you just learn like you cover your nuts at all times. You know, it's like in a boxing match, they're like protect yourself at all times. Like that's what it's like hanging out with the Dudesons. And so in any photo, you'll see like there's one arm around your buddy and one hand covering your nuts. But dude, we were doing all these like Facebook Lives were big back then. So we were like really into those. And we're filming one where we're trying to build like a trampoline out of duct tape and we're going to throw this 8-year-old kid, Rocco Piazza, on it to test it. Suddenly, Yuka comes out with like a t-shirt cannon with a Coke can in it. And we're all like, what are you going to do with that? And he just points it straight up and shoots it. And it goes like 200 feet, I don't know, probably even higher. It just goes way up in the air. And we're all like, what? So suddenly everyone's like hiding under tables and we're like, we don't know where this thing's going to land. And luckily it just explodes right on the driveway and didn't hit a car, didn't hit a person. But it was just like that for yeah, that was like 2.5 years of our lives. I was doing that with my buddy JC. And so, yeah, it was just what a great time, man. But yeah, you always kind of got to be on your toes.
What's their Insta handle? Dudson D.
I think it's just at the Dudesons. And then you have like Yuka Dudson, Yarno Dudson, HP Dudson, ERP Dudson. But yeah, I think it's just at the maybe underscore
Can
Dudesons.
you check on your phone right now, because I just took a really cool video and I'm trying to do a tag and I can't find them. They're hard.
Okay, I got you. Hold on. That is gonna be the Dudesons official.
How do I spell Dudesons?
Dudesons.
Dute.
No. So the THE.
Yeah,
Then there's no spaces in this. THEDUDE, like dude. Sons, SONS, official.
I like it. And then Yari is J.
So then you have Yuka, JUKKE,
Got
or
him.
JUKKA,
Okay, I
Yuka.
got him.
Yuka Dudson. Then you have Yarno Dudson, JARNO.
Got him. Oh no,
Then
J
you
A
have
R N. Just wait. At JARNO.
Dudson.
Got him.
Okay, then you got HP Dudson. So just HP, those two letters, Dudson. He's the hot one. And then you have Yarpi, JARPPI. And yeah,
Love
shout
it.
out to my boys in Finland. Kikli.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Sometime, Paul, we got to get those guys in touch with me to get them on the pod, because we got lots of questions for them, and like it'll be a mint episode.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, so that went down. You're living with them. Like I remember, like you guys would have the helicopters coming after you.
Yeah, what were
What's
we
going through your
doing?
head when you know the helicopters are doing it?
So I think that we were like blowing shit up in the backyard, maybe like dry ice bombs, or we were just like literally just blowing shit up in the like backyard of this house in the middle of Hollywood. And yeah, someone called the police. The police let a helicopter out. So yeah, suddenly there's a police helicopter above us. We were like, what is going on? Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. It was a wild time. You get so used to shit. Like it's so quickly it just becomes normal life. Like that's happening, and we're just like, oh, the cops are here. Like, oh, there's a helicopter above us. Like, that's kind of funny. Like, it sounds like it should be like, you know, a big deal, but in that moment, it's shockingly just kind of becomes normal.
Now, when you guys were doing those lives, I really really remember those lives. Would you guys get like fired up because like you guys started to get numbers, because it was what was lit right now was going live, and you do it in the afternoon, so you get the Canada people are getting home from school and those people are on their lunch break. So like you really, what was it like? Like was it a rush when you're like, holy shit, man, we got 20,000 people watching us right now?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And we kind of mastered like how to do those too, because Yarno, especially Yarno from the Dudesons, he's just like he's got almost like a like beautiful mind, like savant. He loves to kind of like analyze like what worked, what didn't, and like how can we keep improving this. So we realized like, oh, some way to make it interactive is cool. And it's like, oh, if there's a huge moment that everyone's waiting to see, you'll grow the numbers that way. So we started doing it where, I don't know if you remember, we had like line up buckets with numbers, and like under each bucket is like
Yes.
the thing, and like under bucket four or whatever, a random bucket, it's like, oh shit, now this guy is gonna get shot with like a cactus from a pressure cannon, or whatever. Like, and so that was really the fun of it, was like trying these new things, and then yeah, you'd see the numbers, so it's like, oh shit, this is really working. And we really kind of mastered those Facebook lives earlier in the day, like or early on when they were really popping off.
Now, what do the boys' wives say when they're doing this kind of stuff? Like, are they like, guys, are you fucking kidding me with this idea? Or are they like, man, this is gonna be awesome? Are they cool? Or are they like, guys, grow up?
Their wives?
Yeah.
I mean, the Dudesons have always been the Dudesons. They know who they married. It was never it's kind of hard to surprise anyone in their life with anything they're doing. Like they've done some insane shit since they were teenagers, So I feel like everyone around them is really pretty used to them being them.
So you might not know this, but here in Toronto, Mississauga actually, my best friend, like a big brother, will definitely introduce you to him. The legend Big Vis. So he played 19-year professional hockey over in Holland. And
Huh.
he wasn't there just for the hockey. He was there for the locker room, for the parties and stuff after. So like they go to Finland, and Wes Hendricks, the Euro that decided to come here, manages the Kitabala and everything. He knows like Finland and stuff like that. And I asked him the Dudesons, and like, they just start laughing when you drop their name.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I went to Finland one time, and we filmed a live there in Finland, and the Dudesons are kind of famous in LA or in America, like walking around like, oh hey, I know you're that guy, and it's like yeah, yeah, but like in Finland, they're like properly like, it's like walking around with I don't know,
Justin Bieber in
like
Toronto.
Tom Cruise or like that. It's just like no matter who you run into, where we go, they're massive stars there. So, oh, I don't know if my internet's getting a little shitty. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. We're good now.
But yeah, man, it's a trip. They're huge in Finland. So that was really fun to see. Is like, oh man, these are my boys. Like they're actually like a big deal here.
I like it. I like it. So then you made the transition to Steve-O. How did that ever happen? How did you get the introduction to him? And how did you start like, man, Paul, I need you? Because didn't Steve-O start his podcast in his Jeep, or he made a van?
Yeah, we still do it out of a van or out of the tour bus. Like it's always mobile. But how that happened was the Dudesons, so they have a production company in Finland. Like they're massively successful. They were producing like their own shows, plus like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in Finland. Like
I remember
it,
that. I watched that on YouTube because it was like I didn't have internet for a bit. I didn't have cable, so I just watched the dude like that kind of stuff.
Cool. So part of what they were doing in LA was they came to LA to sell American versions of their Finnish TV shows, kind of like how The Office was a big show in the UK, and then they made an American version. And so one of the shows we sold was a show called Ultimate Expedition, and we sold it to YouTube Red, and it was like mountain climbing with the stars. So we went to Peru with like 8 YouTubers and celebrities. And it was like this reality show where they tried to climb a mountain together. But anyway, Steve-O was one of the people on that show. Also like Chuck Liddell and your buddy Furious Pete.
Yeah,
That's
Furious. Yeah, when you come here, we'll go chill up with Furious. Furious is like taking a break. He's like me, but I know how to get to Furious. And if I'm like Furious, I'm in Toronto and it's go time. This is our city. I'll wake Furious Pete up. I've been talking to Mel Diva, and I'm just gonna show up at his house and grab him and put a video camera in his face saying, "Furious, you're on fucking video camera. Let's go."
I love Furious Pete, man.
Hey,
Shout out
man.
to that guy. And Just Rain. He's a Toronto guy too, right? Is Just Rain? He's look him up. You might recognize him. He was like a big Vine guy.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he was a Toronto-based guy as
When
well.
we get off, send me his handle, and I'll definitely reach out to him. And you know who's really cool, but he's actually in Hollywood right now, and I'll give you the introduction. Pillow Talk, Ryan Powell. He interviews all the porn stars.
Oh, I've never even heard of him.
Oh my God. So he just hit 1 million. He had 1 million subscribers. He introduces like every top porn star out there. He introduces them, and like they fool around and have sex while they're on their podcasts and stuff. I'm definitely going to give you the intro to my boy Ryan. He's out in Hollywood, so you need to know him.
Cool. You know what? I don't live in LA anymore. I moved to Tucson, Arizona now.
No way. That's
Yeah.
Oh man, definitely hit me up because I have some really cool buddies there, and you could do some live shows.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I should also say I have my own podcast I do with my wife called the Elk Lodge Podcast. Dude, we should have you on. That'd be fucking sick. We'll do
I
it like
would
this.
love to come on. I'm available any day. You just have to send me a text, and within an hour I'll have a place to record.
Sweet. I'll reach out. We're in touch now.
Yeah.
But okay, so back to the Steve-O story. So I knew Steve-O from doing that show together, and I had his number. And so after that show wrapped, it was like a whole year process. I stopped working for the Dudesons. I was just ready for something new, and started looking for jobs. And I don't know, I'm really lazy. I'm not like a real adult. I was like, dude, I want to make a fucking resume, and I don't want to like go to job interviews. Like that sounds so awful. So I just I texted Steve-O, and I cold emailed Theo Vaughn because I had his email, the comedian Theo Vaughn.
No shit.
And like Steve got right back to me and was like, yeah, and all I said was like, hey man, I'm around if you need an editor, just letting you know. And he texted me right away. He was like, dude, I was just saying I need an editor. Come over tomorrow. and that was it. Like,
Now
that,
you don't have to give it, but does he put you on a nice salary, or is it mostly benefits and different kind of connections you work with him? Because doing work for Steve would be more beneficial free if you had to do, but does he put you on a salary or something?
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give actual numbers,
No,
but
don't give any numbers.
Steve is notoriously very fair
Generous. Yeah. Oh
with
yeah.
what he pays people. I mean, he finds people who are good and he pays them what like well, like so it's certainly no
Have you
complaints.
been to his new house?
I'm there right now.
Oh shit! Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been
I
here.
love his wife, Ben. Did he ever find a beauty to be able to stay with? Like just this stuff, his journey and being sober, and how he's doing stand up, and how he has his goats and stuff. It was such a great move to move where he did. And the coolest thing is he brought his skate park to the barn. Like they moved the skate park.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I love that.
I'm here now. I've been here all week, and then we leave for a 1 week tour starting on Tuesday.
Where are you heading?
It's kind of all over like this area. We're going to Atlanta, we're going to South Carolina, Memphis, Tennessee, we're going up to Norfolk, Virginia. So yeah, it's kind of a quick one. It's just like 6 shows.
That's perfect. You guys blaze. I know you blaze it up. I'll give you a connection to Raw. They sent me a package and they're like, hey, do you want to put this on your podcast? I'm like, I would love to. So I'm expecting to get like 1 or 2 things. Man, look, they gave me like over 1,000 rolling papers. They gave me like 50 of these cones, and I got 1 cone that it takes a QP to roll.
Jesus.
I know it's pretty lit. Well, that's really cool. So you're doing that kind of stuff, and then boom, your music is starting to take off. It's such chill vibes that, like, if you smoke a joint, you microdose mushrooms, and if you're gonna microdose mushrooms, Mindful Meds, the official sponsor of Between the Benches with Rail Sauce. I was going through a depression. I was too scared to go on social media because I let everybody down. I wasn't myself. Keegan called me up and said, yo, Ral, I know you're not doing anything. I'm sending you some mushrooms, send you some Happy Days, send you some Voyager, get those microdoses going. And honest to God, I wake up in the morning. I just did one while we were recording. Man, mushrooms is the way of life, and I can't speak highly enough of it. And after the pod, send me a text with your Addy. I'm going to send you some mushrooms, some raw stuff. We'll send you a cool care package, and we'll get you some podcast hats to rock in one of your shows. It'll be mint. And if you need any merch done, send me your logo, and I'll make a custom shirt for you. It'll be pretty cool. That'd be
Wow.
a present from Between the Benches with Rail Sauce.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of the guys that we work with here with Steve-O are sober, and so I told them like I love microdosing mushrooms, and like it's kind of a running joke here that like Paul's always on mushrooms. So I would love if you could send me some of that.
Yeah,
and
right after this, I'll
look
give
into
you
that company.
to Keegan, and we'll definitely send you out a package. It's the way of life. I stick to 350 milligram. I'm a little big. And so when I was going through the depression and stuff, living at my parents' house, like I was flat broke. And this is what would be me in my day. I'd work, I'd come home, and literally I would sit and watch the Blue Jays until the game would be over, and I'd go to bed. Like I didn't talk. I was the biggest loser in the world. And like I wasn't even smoking weed. And the mushrooms, man, I'm running 15K a day because it's very intimidating. I don't know what it's like in Arizona, but like people that are big that like lived in Hollywood, they lived all over the world, New York, everywhere. Toronto has the most classy, in shape, fit girls. And it's very intimidating because I had a little bit of a barrel. And like I'm single now, and like I just want to fuck as many hot broads. I want to have some nice arm candy on me. For the socials, it's way better when you have a hot girl smoking weed with you, doing mushrooms, putting her on the story. So that's all my life is like. My goal is to have 100 new kills by the end of the year. So like I need to get in shape, and that's how I do it.
Beautiful. Good for you, man.
And you would think me saying that, the girls are going to be like, ew, I'm not going to talk to that guy. When I called out and made it official to the birds that I'm single and ready to mingle, I wake up to the morning and I get so many like rate my boob pics, rate my ass in the thongs. Like it's savage. I love Snapchat.
Good for you, dude. Living it.
It's awesome. So like pretty much because I have the heart of a lion, I had the locker room, the gel guy. I just didn't have the skill. I should be in the NHL. And mark this word, by the end of the year, I'm going to play a professional hockey game, and I'm just going to drop the gloves and just fight just so I have the one professional hockey fight.
Bro, I'll tune in, man. Let me know when that's happening.
It will be sick. I told the guy on a podcast the other day that I'll tell coach I'll go the toughest guy in the league. I just want to go one shift, buckets off. I'll leave my gloves on the bench and I'll put on a show and like all the boys will fly to the game. It's going to be sick. It'll probably be in Georgia.
Cool.
Nice. So you're doing that. The songs, how do you get like, are you just tripping on mushrooms and smoking the weed? Is that how you come up with your lyrics? Because that Gladiator song, oh my God, it is unbelievable.
Thanks, bro. I mean, usually I'm smoking weed if I'm making music, but it just kind of comes out. I don't know. Yeah, like the best lyrics just kind of come out. If I try too hard to think about it, uh, it's not as like, I don't know, it just doesn't flow as nicely. So sometimes even what I'll do is like freestyle, what I call like a mumble track, where I'll just like, and then I kind of get like the flow and like, okay, like it just comes out very naturally. And then I'll go in later and be like, add some words that kind of make a little more sense. So it's always different. But yeah, it's been really fun, man. And like I'm honestly just sitting on like I'm not even kidding, like 1,000 songs.
That's
Uh
awesome. Why
like
don't you drop one every single day? It would be hilarious.
I'm
And it's how you, if you have that many songs, just drop one on Spotify every day, put it on your Instagram, silent tag me, and we'll repost. We'll get the Ral Saucers, man. So people don't know there's like, oh, Ral, you have 32,000 followers. You have 100,000 followers on TikTok. You got verified on Twitter. They just think I got everything given to me. Man, I had a party cooking show where I would have topless girls on. I'd get completely wasted. Then I had like 100,000 watching my Snapchat. I got hacked. So I had to start over from zero. And then I moved everybody. I was on my verge of moving everybody over to Instagram, and I had like 8K then. And then boom, I get hacked. I'm never getting it back. Man, I've been grinding in that because my fans are so loyal. Like when I promote a business, they support it. If we start getting them to support your music, you're gonna go see how powerful the Rouse sauces are because nothing's stronger than the hockey community. And I've got hockey players, puck bunnies, groupies, just like grandmas listen to the podcast. Like it's unbelievable. So we're gonna get them behind you, and we're gonna make a real sick track for this podcast.
sick. Yeah, shout out. I love grandmas. Yeah,
So
it's like
what
all
about
these
what
they need
about
like a final. Go ahead.
yeah? What about JC? So what is he? What's his thing to the music? What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, so I put out my solo music as just Paul Brisske.
Yeah.
And then I actually also have music I made with my wife. We have a group called the Modern Mystics. That's out too. You should check that out. That's a really
Yeah,
beautiful album.
send me that link.
I'll
Check.
send you that link. And then with JC, I have a group called That Kid Is You, which is by far like the most successful music that I do. And I mean JC's like I think when we work together, I do like 80% of the production and he does like 80% of the lyrics and we both fill in the rest, So like JC's a brilliant producer, so helpful in the studio and like just a really like fun guy to make music with. I mean, that's like most of our friendship is just hanging out and making music. But lyrically, he's just like kind of a wizard. I'm more of like a drummer and a producer who just also can rap and sing sometimes, but he's a rapper who can also produce music, so like he really takes charge of like that lyrical side of everything. We
Now,
have some songs I don't even say a word and it's just all JC's lyrics and like I just kind of helped with the production. So
do you guys make your own beats and stuff like that, or do you buy them from someone?
no, everything I've ever put out is beats we made.
Now,
And we also work with a producer in Argentina a lot with That Kid Is You, this guy Nico Calwell, who's amazing.
whoa! You're speaking our language. So my manager, my main homie, day one homie, Nano, he's from Argentina. His dad and Ernie, they're from, and then they moved here. And Nano, and once it started getting cold, Nano's like, "Fuck this shit." He's in Argentina right now, and what Nano does
Summer.
is he started his own media. Like he does SEO. He has influencers. They drop the clothing merch for Travis Kelsey. He has rappers and his manager, Sean, he's my manager as well, too. Sean actually is OVO Drake's DJ.
Okay.
So I want to give you the intro in an email to this, and I think you guys together can make some really big like up the game steps. Like they've got some pretty big names, pretty big connects they can do. And if you Argentina, that producer Nano probably already knows them. Like they manage artists and stuff. So I want to introduce you to Nano. I'll send a group email right after this podcast.
Great, dude. I can't wait. I love Argentina. I've been going there like twice a year for the past like 5 years. And yeah, shout out to like Nico Calwill and just like, dude, there's so many cool people there and like really cool music happening in Argentina. It's amazing. So yeah, and there's an album That Kid Is You has an album called Argentina, which the way we made it, it was the first thing we did with Nico and JC and I. We just flew to Buenos Aires, like booked a 2-week trip. We just lived in the studio with Nico and we made everything up when we got there. Like we showed up with zero lyrics, zero music, nothing, and we just got to it. And it's a really cool project, and that's kind of how we do everything.
And that's what I like about you, Paul, is you're like me. You don't care if you're in a flashy mansion, if you have a sick ass hotel. If you get told you could go to Argentina for 2 weeks and you could save $1,000 by not getting it, you'll be a maverick like me and just crash in the studio and just grind because you have a goal and you know what you need to get done and you make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And we did the same thing in Italy last like a year ago. A friend of ours bought like a Tuscan villa. And it was winter, and she's like, I'm kind of renovating this house, but if you guys want to come on by. And we were there that was another 2 weeks, and we like turned the wine cellar in the basement into a little makeshift studio for those 2 weeks. And yeah, we just roughed it, and it was great.
I love it. Team LTD, the official clothing line of Between the Benches with Rockstars. Now, you may notice I'm not at headquarters right now in the media room in my office recording the podcast. I'm at the library because it's a 15-step from my house. I got all these really cool lights and studio. We got a green screen on the back, so we'll ask Mike Santos to put cool things of Paul performing, Paul doing stuff with the Dudesons. Paul, if you know how to do green screen work, let me know because I don't know how to do that, and I'll be able to pull it off, and we'll have something cool in the background behind me.
Okay, great. What, you don't have an editor who's going to do the green screen?
No, I do. Mike Santos from Epic Mealtime. He'll do that for me.
Killer.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Well, Paul, how can the listeners follow you on social media?
Best place to find me is Instagram. That's really where like my kind of hub is. So that's just at Paul Brisske, PaulBrisske. And there you can see me, hanging out with Steve-O, putting up new songs, clips from my podcast, the Elk Lodge Podcast with my wife, anything That Kid Is You. You can kind of find everything from there. So yeah. That's a great place to just go easy at Paul Brisske.
All right, Paul. Well, I know you got some shit you got to do with Steve-O today. You took the time to come on the pod to let everybody know how serious we are. We're going to get you to the 6. You're going to start making the rap song for the intro for the podcast. Guys, the main reason why we got Paul on here is send him DMs, comment on his stuff, give him ideas for this rap song. You guys know who I am. Send him ideas, and we'll get this thing coming out ASAP. Paul, thanks a lot for coming on the pod. And is there anything else you want to say to the listeners?
Nah, bro, appreciate you, man. I'm glad you're back to it. It's great to see, and it's awesome to reconnect. Appreciate you.
Love it, Paul. All right, you have fun with the boys. Let the Dudesons know and Steve-O know. I would love to get them on, promote what they're doing, and I'm sure if I had Steve-O, me and him would have a fucking blast talking. I really want to ask him why he got the dick tattoo on his eye from Post Malone.
Well, yeah, I mean, so his live show that we've been touring is like, it's kind of all for that. So like he's been filming all sorts of crazy shit, and the only place to really see it is at his live show. So people should go to steveo.com, check out the tour dates, and watch. There's nothing Canada scheduled right now, but I have a feeling there will be at some point. So
you got Steve-O 2 or 3 years ago came to Niagara Falls, and Furious Pete went there for his show and everything, and Jamie Viss went there. So I'm going there, and what happens? Something happened at the Key to Bala, and I couldn't leave Muskoka, so I couldn't go. And I was so pumped because I was going to get the photo with Steve-O because he does the photos with all the fans after the show. So I missed that, and I'm kind of pissed off about that. So let Steve-O know the sauce. When I send you the package with the mushrooms and stuff like that, I'm going to send Steve-O something to be like, man, listen, I'm serious. Let's do the pod. If we have to send you something to do the episode, we'll get a sponsor. We could send him something if it takes time because he's a busy man. We'll figure it out. But I know for a fact I got a couple sponsors that I can message right now, and we could get them to send a PayPal over to Steve-O to come on the pod.
Great. Yeah. I can't promise anything on
No,
Steve-O's behalf.
don't do that.
Out,
Just when
but,
I send you the package, just give it to Steve-O and I'll have a handwritten note in there.
Great. I'll do that.
All right, Paul. Well, you take care. And Beauties and Rockstars, start you. Paul gave out his Instagram. I'm going to link everything in the bio. Start hitting Paul up about getting ideas for this song because we're going to make it mint. We're going to get him to Toronto. He'll do his stand-up here and we'll do a live show. We'll do it at like a locals only. Baby Huey's. Well, we'll get you at Baby Huey's. That's what we'll do. I'll talk to Emmer tonight. And Baby Huey's is like an old school rap bar. And it hosts 300 people, but it's just completely chill vibe. So we'll sell it out and we'll throw a sick ass party.
Killer. Yeah. Let's figure it out. I can't wait. I'm excited to get this song, man. This is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be real good. You take care and thanks a lot for taking the time, and I'll fire me a text with your Addy once we get off.
Sounds good. I'll do that right now.
All right. Take care, Paul.
Good to see you, bro. Thanks, everybody.
Good to see you. Thank you. Bye now.